Today on AFF TV, we've got the very first Football Ferns goalkeeper in the studio today who's going to talk to us about her experience in Hong Kong. We'll see you in a bit.
We have had training to manage the match.
But not to manage your sideline behaviour. So please,
don't abuse us from the sidelines.
In the studio today, we've got the very first Football Ferns goalkeeper, Carol Waller, who's also my workmate, and she does a lot of work in the AFF office. Carol, you were the very first Football Ferns goalkeeper, is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so could you tell us about that experience in Hong Kong?
In Hong Kong, once we got there it was great, but before we got there we had a lot of work to do. We had to form a New Zealand Women's Football Association, as we weren't recognised by New Zealand football at that stage. We also had 1.5 to 2 days training, which brought us together a bit. We knew the Wellington players because it was only made up of Auckland and Wellington players. So we had a dressmaker make our gear up because the guys' gear was just too big and didn't fit. Once we got to Hong Kong, it was great. We had a really good time. We won the tournament, which we weren't supposed to win, and that was really weird because the local people put a voodoo on the goal that I played in just to see if the opposition could score against me, but they didn't. But from what I understand, they sprinkled urine in the goals to stop it, which was really weird. After the tournament, which we won it, we had to stay in our changing rooms for 1 to 2 hours afterwards. They were throwing rocks at the bus as we left because the bookkeepers lost a lot of money on us, which was really...
That's quite interesting, Carol. Yeah. So obviously you mentioned the fact that you had 2 trainings beforehand to prepare for this tournament. So how do you feel? Was that the only way you prepared? Or did you have any trainings over in Hong Kong prior to the tournament? Or
we had a few trainings on a gravel pitch. Because they don't have much land in Hong Kong, we actually played on Happy Valley Stadium, which is the one that they convert and now do the rugby sevens on. And that was in a lovely stadium. You could stand in the goal mouth and look out at the lights of Hong Kong and dream while you were playing the game. It was really neat, but we trained on shale and we got a lot of burns and that from it.
That's very interesting, and I believe you actually got yourself a nickname while you were over there. Do you want to tell us what it is?
I did. Cat Walker. It came out in the newspaper, and there are 1 or 2 photos of me pouncing on people's feet. Taking their feet and the ball at the same time. It was really good. Thoroughly enjoyable.
That's quite interesting, and you did mention the fact that there was actually quite a lot of work that went into this. What do you think are the major differences between then and now when teams go to tournaments like this?
I think the girls nowadays are treated really well. They have all their training sessions, they have a build-up program. Nike supply them with really nice gear, and the coach and the support team behind them do a great job. Bearing in mind when we went, we had a coach, a manager and a physio. That's all we travelled with, and our players, whereas now the group behind them support the team really well.
That's very interesting, Carol. Thank you so much for that insight and your experience in Hong Kong. Up next, we're going to have a little bit of a wander and see what's going on down at the Pullman Arena for Auckland Football's Federation Talent Centre camp.
ID camp in April over 2 days, and then today is the first day of our FTC camp. So we got 4 sessions in total, so it's pretty cool to get the girls down for all four sessions over 2 days.
My biggest goal in futsal would probably be to represent New Zealand on like a world stage, just to play again with like Shivy and Maxine, awesome players, and I look up to them as players as well.
It's a great opportunity for players to go play futsal against other federations, so just being able to play against different people that they don't usually get to play against week to week in the season. So yeah, it's a pretty awesome opportunity for them.
That's it for today's episode of AFF TV. Tune in next week for a new episode. Ta kite. We'll see you later.